Today in our 2013 Chevrolet Traverse, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Etrailer Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver. So here's what our hitch is going to look like once we have installed. The cross tube is going to be hidden behind the bumper really nice. That appearance panel that pops out, we can actually put it back and it'll be hidden there until we need our hitch. Now it is a Class 3, which means it's going to give us that 2" by 2" receiver tube opening and have a really wide variety of accessories that we can mount up. And the way we're going to mount any of our accessories to the hitch pinhole here on the side, it is going to accept standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now these are not included with the hitch, but you can pick them up here at Etrailer.com along with some locking devices to keep your accessories secure. Now the safety chain connection point is going to be a plate style welded to the bottom of the receiver tube. And you can see we got plenty of room to get most size hooks on or off. As far as the weight capacity goes for our hitch, it's going to have a 500-pound tongue weight, which is the maximum downward force of the receiver tube, along with a 5,000-pound gross trailer weight rating. That's the amount our hitch can pull, including the trailer and everything we have loaded on it. Now it is designed to work with weight distribution systems as well, and that's going to be a separate component that's mounted on your trailer. But it's going to bump the tongue weight up to 600 pounds and the gross trailer weight rating up to 6,000 pounds. But with all those numbers in mind, you always want to double check your Chevy's owner's manual because you don't want to exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. I'd like to give a few measurements, and that's going to help you whenever you're looking for accessories for your new hitch, like a ball mount, a bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pinhole to the outermost edge of the bumper, it's right about 5 inches. That measurement is going to come in handy when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have enough room and that they're not going to come in contact with the rear bumper. From the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening is right about 18.5 inches. That measurement is going to help you out when you're looking for a ball mount, so you can make sure you find the appropriate rise or drop to match up to your trailer. Now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. To begin your installation, we're going to start off at the back of our Traverse. Now you'll notice that we have this opening right here. Your Traverse may have a panel that's in place. There's going to be 2 little tabs on each end that if we press them, we can pull that panel down. You want to make sure you pull that panel out, then we can continue on. Now we move over to the passenger side, we're going to have our muffler right here, and if we look up towards the center, we'll have one hanger, then we'll come to the outside, we're going to have another hanger. That's going to be holding the exhaust up. We're going to need to lower the exhaust down, so I'm going to take a little bit of spray lubricant, I'm going to spray down the rubber isolator in the hanger, make it a little bit easier to slide it off. Now before we lower it down, you do want to make sure that the exhaust is supported, so I'm going to put a strap up to make sure it doesn't come down too far. Then we'll just take a pry bar. The main goal is to slide the rubber isolator off of the metal post, just like that. We'll do that for both the ones back here. Now if your exhaust didn't come down as far as you'd like, we can move a little bit farther forward, and right in front of the rear axle, we'll have another hanger, and we can slide that rubber isolator off. Now if we move to the bottom of our frame rail, we're going to have 2 threaded holes that are going to be towards the back of our vehicle. These are going to be on both sides. You need to clean these weld nuts out to make sure there's no dirt, debris, or rust in there, and you can see that it's got a good amount. So what we want to do is we're going to take some spray lubricant, and I'm going to take a nylon tube brush. I'm going to clean it out as best as I can to get all that debris out of there. I'm going to go through and clean each one of the weld nuts on both sides of the frame. Now once you have all the weld nuts cleaned out, it's not a bad idea to grab one of the bolts from our kit. And we want to make sure that we can easily thread it in by hand and that it's not cross-threading. So I'm going to go through and double check all the weld nuts and make sure I can thread it in. Now we're going to have 2 more mounting locations in the very center, right where we took that panel down. We'll have a square hole and a round hole on either side of the center. The mounting points are going to be the 2 round holes. We're going to get some hardware in place, so to start, we'll grab our pull wire and we'll grab the coiled end and we'll feed it into the round hole. Now we're going to push it towards the outside so it can come out of the side of our bumper beam. We're going to grab a square hole spacer block, we'll slide it over the end of our coiled wire, then we'll take one of our carriage bolts and we're going to thread it onto the end. And we'll push the block and the bolt into the frame, and then we'll pull on the wire so we can have the bolt dropping through. Now we're going to repeat this same process for the other hole, and I'm going to leave my pull wires on so I don't have to worry about pushing the bolt back into the frame. Now with the next set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch up. Just want to make sure you feed your pull wires through the 2 center mounting holes. We'll lift it up until the bolts can drop down through and the holes on the side of the frame line up. When we go to lift our hitch up, we're going to take one of the bolts from our kit and we're going to take the conical tooth washer and make sure the teeth are facing away from the head of the bolt. We'll go through our hitch and into the frame. We can work on getting the rest of the hardware in. With all of our side bolts in, I'm going to come back with a 19mm socket and snug them up, and that'll draw the hitch up and help us so we can put the hardware in the center. For the center bolts, we're going to remove our pull wire. Then we're going to take a 1/2 inch flange nut and we'll secure it to the bolts dropping down through the frame. Now you just want to be careful not to push it back into the frame when you're starting the nut. And we can use a 3/4 inch socket or a 19mm socket to snug up the 2 nuts. I'm going to come back with a torque wrench. I'm going to torque all my hardware down to the specified amount in the instructions. With the hitch torqued down, we can raise our exhaust back up. Just going to spray a little more lubricant on the hanger and the isolator, make it a little bit easier to get it back in place. And then we can finally remove the support strap for the exhaust, and we're ready to hit the road. That'll finish up your look at the Etrailer Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2013 Chevrolet Traverse.